Welcome to the technical orientation video for the all-new Yamaha FZ1 This tape will show the features and benefits of the FZ1, which is called the FZ1 in the US and the Phaser in other markets. We will also cover a few service tips to assist you as you perform basic maintenance. This video is designed to supplement the FZ1 Technical Orientation Guide. It does not replace the information found in the FZ1 Service Manual. For detailed drawings and instructions on how to perform diagnostic tests and repairs, refer to the FZ1 Service Manual. The FZ1 is a standard-style motorcycle based on the R1. While designed to be more ergonomic, it retains the pure horsepower of the sport bike. To better fit this style of motorcycle, some slight changes have been made to the R1 engine, both cosmetically and internally. Most noticeable is the cylinder head. It still has the 5-valve per cylinder configuration, but the intake tract has been modified to accommodate the new side draft carburetors. The valve cover and crankcase covers have been changed for appearance, while a front engine mount has been added to the crankcases to allow for the new frame and reduce vibration. For ease of maintenance, the oil drain plug has been relocated from the bottom to the side of the oil pan. Internal engine changes from the R1 version are also minimal. The crankshaft's inertial mass has been increased by 10% for smoother acceleration and deceleration. Cam timing has been inverted for the intake and exhaust by 1 degree, from the R1's 103-102 to 102-103 for the FZ1. Transmission gear ratios remain the same, but the main and drive axles are 3 and 10 millimeters longer to compensate for the new clutch and to extend the drive sprocket outward. The new clutch is slightly smaller in diameter, 134 millimeters for the FZ1 compared to the R1's 152 millimeters. An extra steel and friction plate were added to maintain durability. This design not only saves weight, it also gives the FZ1 a smoother shift feeling. The FZ1 breathes through a bank of Mikuni semi-flat slide BSR 37mm carburetors with TPS. Air is fed to the carburetors through a dry-type air filter located underneath the seat. The exhaust exits the engine through an all-stainless steel 4-into-1 system with exit. This provides the FZ1 with outstanding performance, while the buffed and baked stainless muffler body give the system a beautifully detailed look. The X-Up servo motor was redesigned to be more compact, and the head pipes come with removable exhaust gas analyzer plugs. To help reduce emissions, the FZ1 has a new air induction system that integrates the air cut valve and the reed valve into one small unit located above the valve cover. Fresh air is drawn through the air cut valve and reed valve by the vacuum that is created from the exhaust exiting the pipe. When the vacuum turns to pressure, the reed is closed to prevent exhaust from escaping through the system. The air cut valve is operated by vacuum within the intake tract and is normally open to let air flow through the system. When the throttle is closed, the high amount of vacuum in the intake tract pulls on the diaphragm inside the cut valve and stops airflow through the system to prevent afterburning inside the exhaust port. The lubrication system for the FZ1 is identical to that of the R1. Several minor changes have been made to the cooling system. A steel protective screen was added to the front of the radiator, and the height of the radiator was shortened 60 millimeters, while the width and the 200 millimeter fan remain the same. coolant flow is now routed through a filter and into the carburetors to compensate for ambient air temperature fluctuations. The thermosensor also acts as the thermoswitch for the electric fan. The coolant reservoir is located in front of the rear shock with fill access under the right side panel. The frame is where the biggest difference between the R1 and FZ1 comes into play. The FZ1 steel double cradle frame is exceptionally strong with a 48.6 millimeter diameter and a 1.6 millimeter thick backbone. The lower right frame rail detaches to ease engine removal. A convenient center stand was added to the FZ1. The 26-degree rake, 104 millimeter trail, 1450 millimeter wheelbase, and 49-degree lean angle make the FZ1 incredibly stable and easy to maneuver. The conventional style 43 millimeter Soki front forks are fully adjustable and have 140 millimeters of wheel travel and feature inner fork tube protectors. The rebound and preload adjusters are located at the top of the forks, and the compression adjusters are on the lower fork legs. For the rear suspension, the FZ1 uses a fully adjustable piggyback reservoir Soki shock with a 65 millimeter stroke and 135 millimeters of wheel travel to keep the tire in contact with the pavement. On the top of the shock is a click-type preload adjuster and a compression adjuster. There's a rebound adjuster on the bottom. A newly designed shock linkage gives the FZ1 a smooth ride. The new hollow bridge box swing arm has improved strength and reduced weight. The 120/70 ZR17 front tire is mounted on a 3-spoke 17-inch cast aluminum wheel with twin 298 millimeter brake rotors. The brake calipers have centered brake pads with a slightly different compound mixture than used on the R1. For the rear, a 180/55 ZR17 tire and 5.5 by 17-inch wheel are used to launch the FZ1. A 267 millimeter brake rotor and a twin piston brake caliper with centered brake pads give it plenty of stopping power. Shifting the FZ1 feels much lighter than the R1 thanks to a new geometrically designed shift linkage with different leverage points. The R1-shaped front cowling has large side view mirrors and houses dual 60-55 watt multi-reflective headlights. On the inside is the compact instrument panel with an analog speedometer that includes a digital odometer, trip 1 and trip 2 meters, a tachometer with a digital clock, and an overheat warning indicator. An analog fuel gauge includes a low fuel warning indicator that comes on when 1 gallon or 4 liters of fuel is left in the tank. The select and reset buttons are located just above the 5 indicator lights for the left turn signal, neutral, high beam, low oil, and right turn signal. To switch between the odometer, trip 1, and trip 2, press the select button until the desired meter is displayed. To reset trip 1 or trip 2, select the meter, then press and hold the reset button until the meter reads 0.0. To set the clock, simultaneously press the select and reset buttons until the hour display starts to blink. Pressing and releasing the reset button will change the hour setting 1 hour at a time, or the button can be pressed and held for rapid changes. Now press the select button again to change to the minute mode, and then the reset button to select the minute. Press the select button one more time to set the time. If the main switch is turned off before the clock setting process is completed, the settings will not be held in the memory. A large part of what makes the FZ1 more ergonomically comfortable is the standard style handlebars that place the rider in a more upright position. Another feature that makes it comfortable for virtually any rider is the 5-position adjustable brake lever. For convenience, a one-touch quick adjuster was added to the clutch cable. For those long, comfortable rides, Yamaha gave the FZ1 a 5.5-gallon, 21-liter fuel tank, up 0.8 of a gallon, or 3 liters from the R1. This was done without making the tank taller or wider because of the horizontally mounted carburetors. The fuel tank is equipped with a float-type fuel sender and non-reserve petcock. The electric fuel pump with filter is located under the left side panel. A new integrated rider-passenger seat was designed for maximum comfort and ease of use. The combination seat and helmet lock is located on the left side of the seat. A built-in U-lock bar storage area is in the seat base, and a storage area for the U-bar lock or other type of lock is underneath the seat. Passenger grab rails were added for comfort and convenience. The same dual taillight found on the R1 is used on the FZ1 as well. New, more flexible turn signals were designed for both the front and rear. Another new feature is a lean angle cutoff switch. This switch will shut off the electric fuel pump and the ignition if the bike falls over, but is designed not to trigger if the motorcycle is cornering at extreme lean angles. The FZ1 has an AC generator charging system that puts out 14 volts with 26 amps at 5,000 RPM. The fuses and relays are located under the seat and left side panel. As far as servicing the FZ1, there are a couple of items that need to be mentioned. Like the R1, the FZ1 has self-diagnostics that are indicated by specific tachometer readings. If the TPS fails, the tachometer will read 0 for 3 seconds, then 3,000 RPM for 2.5 seconds, and then the engine speed for 3 seconds. This cycle will repeat itself until the problem is rectified. If the X-up servo motor fails, it will cycle the same except the tachometer reading will be 7,000 RPM. And if the lean angle cutoff switch fails, the tachometer will read 9,000 RPM. If the fuel sender circuit becomes open or is left disconnected, the low fuel warning light will come on. And if the circuit is shorted, the fuel gauge will constantly read full. Finally, when reassembling the clutch, be sure to install the larger inside diameter friction plate and spring cushion ring first. The spring cushion ring is concave. Make sure the raised outer edge is facing out during installation. This concludes our technical orientation video. For additional information, please refer to the FZ1 Technical Orientation Guide and the FZ1 Service Manual. Keep in mind that careful uncrating, accurate setup, and meticulous pre-delivery are the keys to making a good first impression on your customers. Yamaha appreciates your dedication to quality service and the satisfaction you deliver to our customers with the FZ1.